Welcome to season 2 of On the Spot. At On the Spot, we discuss the issues.
Welcome to another episode of On the Spot with me, Stella, in the UK series. Now, in this episode, I caught up with an amazing food entrepreneur based in the UK who have been tantalizing the taste buds of his customers with the rich delicacies of traditional Sierra Leone cuisine since January 2016. Joe Faulkner is the founder of the popular family-run Sierra Leonean food pop-up business based in London called the Creole Canteen. Now, the Creole Canteen. Welcome, Joe. It's good to have you here on the show. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm doing well.
Yes, and you look well. Courtesy of good food. Courtesy of your own handiwork as well.
I've been enjoying.
Good. So, I mean, I saw you the other day, and you know, and when I heard that, you know, you're the one who actually cooks and everything's like, really?
Yeah, people never believe.
Really? What's the story behind that?
Story begins with my dad, or shall I say, actually, sorry, my grandma. So she taught my dad how to cook, just wanting him to be able to cook and look after himself if needs be.
Okay.
But he just became very talented. And he enjoys it too.
Okay.
So he used to cook for us. Every Saturday we'd go to Brixton Market to pick up the ingredients, come home. He'd insist on us watching, even though we weren't too interested.
Okay.
But some things just stay in your mind. And then later on, I kind of went back to him as an adult and said, Dad, look, this might sound silly, but your food is good. And I feel like more people would want to taste it. And he said, that's fine, you can do what you want, but I'm not involved. Then I was like, please just help me out. So he helped me out. And that was the beginning of the story. We kind of recapped over the ingredients and the ways that he did things. And then, yeah, that's how it started.
I need to know, first of all, when you made that decision, because it was a decision.
Yeah.
I think I want to go into the food business. I think I want to cook for people. How? I'm sure you didn't make that decision overnight.
No,
it took a while.
So everyone knows the Creole Canteen for food, but I always insist on explaining that it's more than food. Like, I was born and raised in the UK, but my family have always been very proud of their Sierra Leonean roots. And for me, it's about promoting our culture. Food is an important part of our culture.
Absolutely.
And so when you speak to someone as a British born Sierra Leonean like I am, when I speak to someone about Sierra Leone, all they know are the negative things.
Yeah.
They know about war, they know about Ebola, they know anything that's bad, that's what they know. And for me, it's frustrating because I know that on the flip side, Sierra Leone's a beautiful country and there are loads of amazing things about Sierra Leone that people don't know. So this was my avenue to, one, give people the food, but two, tell a different story. So when I host an event, it's never just the food. You don't just come, sit down, eat your meal and go. That's not what I want. You come, you eat your food, we tell you about the food, there'll be a poet, a musician. You'll learn more about Sierra Leone than what you will hear on the news. Because at the moment, that's all people hear and it's never good. So that is the difference. That's where it's not just food for me. So the avenue was, yes, I want to give people Sierra Leonean food, but I also want people to understand that the country isn't the one way that you think. There's so much more to Sierra Leone.
Do you think that's something that has really differentiated your business from maybe the other?
I'd hope so because it's my aim. So hopefully I'm telling that story, because if I'm not, then I need to get back to the drawing board and try and tell that story better. Because yes, I want people to eat the food, enjoy the food. But as I said, like, I'm proud of where my family are from. I'm proud of my culture. So I want to share that and I want people to also feel that pride.
So question here is, have you ever been to Sierra Leone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How often do you go to
So
Sierra Leone?
I haven't been often. So I've been, I'm ashamed to say twice. So once when I was 10, and then once last year as an adult, 32 years old, I went, and I enjoyed it. It was what I expected. I learned a lot. There's only so much that family can tell you.
Yeah.
When my family sit down, it's probably the same for every Sierra Leonean. They know people by the streets that they live on and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you still have to experience it yourself. So going there was a good like taster for me. So now I want to go every year. So next year we've got a trip planned now with my family.
Okay.
So my wife and daughter. And I just want to make sure that every year I'm going there. So the original kind of passion for Sierra Leone, I can't say is based on me going to Sierra Leone. It's a lot to do with family and being around people who are so like proud of where they were from and always talking about, even, you know, Sierra Leoneans will complain about Sierra Leone, but at the end of the day, after they've complained, you know, the normal saying like salon sweet and all that kind of, like, it's just in them to love their country after the complaining. So my family really kind of instilled that in me. And another important thing, and I think this is unique to people that are born in England or born somewhere else, sometimes being African is something that's frowned upon.
Yes.
So when you are younger, you kind of just do what it is to fit in. So it maybe it takes you to look inside yourself and understand what you have and where you are from, to then see that and be proud of that. So it's my family. That's where it originally came from.
Now, do you think, you know, going back as an adult back to Sierra Leone, and you know, a lot of the experience you've learned about Sierra Leone basically is more from your family. Do you think there's anything new that experience kind of taught you about Sierra Leone, about the food, that you think probably is part of what you're putting into Creole Canteen today?
I mean, food-wise, it's what I grew up on. There's not much that we didn't eat here that I would eat there. But something that I really did learn is that I feel like Sierra Leoneans don't understand how much they have to be proud of. So like I felt so in some ways I'm an outsider going to Sierra Leone. So I can look at it from a different perspective. And for me, sometimes I feel like they talk Sierra Leone down too much when there's so many things to be proud of, to be happy about, to be, and things that have so much potential. So things that we should be looking at, oh, maybe it's like this now, but just imagine what we can do or what we can do. So that was a big thing for me. I didn't know that. It wasn't until you sit down with ordinary people and you're talking, and then everyone's kind of doing the same thing. And you're like, seriously? Like, I understand. I know, like, things are tough, but there are some good things that you guys need to look at and be like, we should be proud of this.
All right. Well, I'm going to go for a quick break. Well, we are going for a quick break. This is On The Spot, if you're just tuning in. He is Joe Faulkner, and he is the founder of the family-run or family-owned food business, Creole Canteen. I tried that, and trust me.
Thank you.
Let's go for a break and we'll be back.
Domestic revenue mobilization is a key instrument for the government of Sierra Leone in reducing poverty, increasing financial independence, achieving middle income status, and charting the path for new directions. From supporting the free quality education, good roads, healthcare, electricity, and more.
Domestic revenue mobilization is very critical when it comes to national development.
Through the Asikoda World, we have developed beautiful management tools. We have also developed systems in which it will bring transparency and help to the importer, to the broker.
iTax is a platform for all your domestic taxes. The electronic cash register system is the game changer.
Let's support government by paying our taxes. For more information, visit the nearest NRA office or log on to our website www.nra.gov.sl.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Abu. I am calling for your rental tax payment.
Oh my goodness.
Hello? This is a call from the
Your colleague is on the other line. Can you just please hold?
You're not a landlord or property agent. You don't hear about rental income tax. As property owner or agent where they collect rent, the law say you for pay tax and you tax identification number where they call team you they use for pay am.
Yes, me fumble them. The law say without this tax identification number, you not go able to pay your tax. And if you not pay your tax, the law go bet you tranga one. Welcome, sir. Please sit.
Thank you.
We don't make them easy for you now. The law say, since you the collect rent we pass 7.2 million loans, you for come to NIA and pay your rental tax just after we you tenants don't pay you done.
So no more calls from everywhere.
You go just get one SMS or one phone call. We go remind you, sir.
Thank you very much.
For no more, go to any NIA office near you or visit www.nia.gov.sl.
Remember, paying taxes is required by law.
Welcome back. This is On the Spot. All right, Joe, we've talked a little bit about, you and your touch with Sierra Leone, which hasn't been very much. You need to go back.
I'm going back, don't worry, I'll be there in April.
Yeah. But Korea Canteen, I would say has done quite well when it comes to making its presence felt, especially on social media. And I know that you don't have like a physical store or a physical shop, but you have a strong presence. How are you able to manage that online presence and the actual work that you do?
Yeah, it can be difficult. At first, there was a long period where it was just me kind of trying to do everything. So one person doing a lot of different things is very difficult. Now I have a lot more help, so things have become easier, but it's all like a gradual process. I never thought that the business would garner so much attention so quickly. But it's like there was a space in the market for it. Now a lot more people are doing it too, and there were people doing it before me as well. So it's nice because there's like a community of people. But for me, it's been a learning process. So it was hard, like doing the cooking, then sorting out the finances, then doing the marketing, then checking up on the socials. All of this for one person is a lot to do. So having help that I have now has changed things a lot, made it easier. But it's just part and parcel. It's part of the process. It's how it is for people.
Now let me ask. You said you didn't think it would really catch on this quick. Do you think probably because like you're a man? This is something that usually it's
I think
like a
it's
woman's
funny you say
thing.
that. Yeah,
Do you think it's probably because of that?
I think that's a big element. I think that's a
So it's
big
an
element.
advantage for you then.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. It's an advantage and a disadvantage because it's an advantage because a lot of people are impressed. And when I tell the first question I get asked every time is, did you cook all of this? And when I say yes, they say, did you cook all of this? As to say, just tell us the truth. So that I would say is a positive because people can understand that, yes, it was me and I am doing this. The negative is that for some people, culturally, it just doesn't make any sense. So I have been told, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. It's for women, leave it alone and that kind of stuff. So it's positive and negative at the same time. So yes, it has, maybe in terms of attention, it's helped, but then there are some people just don't get it, don't understand.
So how do you operate this business, especially as you don't have a brick and mortar space? So how do you run your business?
The easiest way I can describe it is that it's a pop-up. So basically, part of the business is a pop-up. So we will hire venues and host events.
Okay.
But then we also cater for people's events. So like last month we did a wedding in Italy and a wedding in Manchester. And then we did a baby shower and a birthday, and then I hosted like a supper club. So it's just like there are many ways around it, and ones that are more cost effective than actually having bricks and mortar sometimes, because it's expensive with all the overheads. So just like hosting events and catering for people's events means that you can work, your presence is there, but you don't have to have your physical shop. However, my dream is to have somewhere in Sierra Leone in the future, maybe by the beach or somewhere like that. That is where I would want to have a physical shop.
Yeah, so technically you're looking to relocate at some point in time to Sierra Leone.
I wouldn't say relocate, but in between. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll definitely show people the video of the week, which for those doubting Thomas out there, they'll get to see a little bit, but we'll come to that. So now, with this business that you're doing, would you say it has sort of changed your life?
It's changed. Yeah, a lot. It's just completely different to what I did before. Everything is different now, and a lot of the time, unless you speak to another entrepreneur, someone who's starting out, they just don't get what it takes to do it.
Yeah.
It's just like liking something's not enough, because you may do it one time and realize how hard it is to do it, and the next time I promise you won't do it again. So it's shown me that I can persist with something that is very difficult, because this is not an easy thing to do. It's very, people see the end product. So they see you giving them the food, they eat it, exchange money, they think that's everything that's happened. They don't see all the grinding that happened the day before, or in the first thing in the morning, the lack of sleep, the cleaning afterwards. So all of that has just like taught me a lot. I think when you start your business, you learn how to do so many things because you have to do it. You can't go and pay someone to do it because you can't afford to pay someone to do it. So you're learning. I mean, so everything I've learned in the last 2 years, I wouldn't have learned it doing anything else, and I wouldn't have learned so much doing anything else. So in that sense, yes, it's changed a lot.
Okay, so now with the business growing and gradually getting a lot of attention, who would you say are your main customers or your main clients?
It's interesting.
Would you say just Sierra Leoneans?
No, and that surprised me the most. So I thought that my base would be Sierra Leoneans, and then eventually I would, because the idea was to branch out. So with the supper clubs, you try and bring different people in to taste the cuisine. What I didn't imagine is that there were loads of people who already love Sierra Leone but are not Sierra Leoneans, who want a reminder of Sierra Leonean food. So like there are a lot of people in London who have travelled to Sierra Leone for work or for something else, have come back and don't know where to go to, because if you're not in the community in London, you won't know that there's this restaurant that you can go to. So they find me online, they contact me, we create an experience for them, and they're always so thankful because they've had such an amazing experience in Sierra Leone. So that has surprised me, because it's usually not Sierra Leoneans that would ask for that. So it's a mixture of Sierra Leoneans. I'd say it's like 60-40. So 60% Sierra Leonean, 40% non-Sierra Leoneans. And my idea is that I want as many people. Sierra Leoneans know about Sierra Leonean food. So I'm not trying to convince you that our food is here. But there are a lot of people who don't even know where Sierra Leone is. So it's like a nice introduction to the country, to the food, to the culture. So yeah, a lot more non-Sierra Leoneans than I thought.
All right, well, coming up next is our video of the week, and Joe will be flexing a little bit of muscles there.
Yes, I will.
Just so that all of you can see that he can actually cook.
I can actually
cook. Here's the video of the week. Enjoy it.
Hello again, how are you doing? It's Joe here, the founder of the Creole Canteen, and today I'm going to walk you through a very simple step-by-step guide of how to make jollof rice. It's a vegan friendly dish, no meat involved, but I will run you through it to see exactly how simple this dish is to make. Okay, the oil is hot, so now we're ready to start cooking. The onions are what we put in first. We're going to add the garlic that we chopped up before. Add in the pepper that we chopped up as well. And add a little bit of salt. I'm going to add some thyme, mixed herbs, the cinnamon, the jerk seasoning, and our bay leaves. Okay, so now it's time to add the chopped tomatoes and the tomato puree. So I've got one stock cube here. Remember, I'm using a vegetable one because this is a vegan jollof rice. So now it's time to add the water. All we have to do is let that cook before we add the rice. Got the rice, okay? So I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna give that a mix. And I'll leave this to cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now it's time to really seal all the flavour and just let the steam cook it up. Make sure you seal the pot nicely. I've cut up some coriander. The jollof rice is ready, so let's plate up. Smelling good. This smells so good. Let's give it a little bit of garnish. Now you can tell me how that looks. So, the jollof rice is done. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. I'm about to enjoy this. My name is Joe Faulkner, founder of the Creole Canteen. Peace.
Domestic revenue mobilization is a key instrument for the government of Sierra Leone in reducing poverty, increasing financial independence, achieving middle income status, and charting the path for new directions. From supporting the free quality education, good roads, healthcare, electricity, and more.
Domestic revenue mobilization is very critical when it comes to national development.
Through the Asikoda World, we have developed beautiful management tools. We have also developed systems in which it will bring transparency and help to the importer, to the broker.
iTax is a platform for all your domestic taxes. The electronic cash register system is the game changer.
Let's support government by paying our taxes. For more information, visit the nearest NRA office or log on to our website www.nra.gov.sl.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Abu. I am calling for your rental tax payment.
Oh my goodness.
Hello? This is a call from the...
Your colleague is on the other line. Can you just please hold?
You are a landlord or property agent? You don't hear about rental income tax? As property owner or agent where they collect rent, the law say you for pay tax and you tax identification number where they call team you they use for pay am.
Yes, me fumble them. The law say without this tax identification number, you not go able to pay your tax. And if you not pay your tax, the law go bet you tranga one. Welcome, sir. Please sit.
Thank you.
We don't make them easy for you now. The law say, since you the collect rent we pass 7.2 million leons, you for come to NIA and pay your rental tax just after we you tenants don't pay you done.
So no more calls from everywhere.
You go just get one SMS or one phone call. We go remind you, sir.
Thank you very much.
For no more, go to any NIA office near you or visit www.nia.gov.sl.
Remember, paying taxes is required by law.
All right, welcome back to On the Spot. And if you were just coming, you missed quite a lot, but you're still in the nick of time. And I hope you watched that video there of Joe Faulkner from the Creole Canteen. So Joe, just take us through a little bit on that video, briefly.
Yeah. So it's just me whipping up some jollof rice.
Okay.
My dad taught me his own special recipe that he loves and has always been popular. Any Christmas, a lot of my friends who are not Sierra Leonean, So when they tell you that Sierra Leonean jollof is the best, it's not
I
a lie.
know. Sierra Leone
I don't know
Jollof
why.
has won.
So
yeah, it did win. I don't know how many.
we've won all of
competitions
those
now.
competitions. So it's there in black and white
Okay.
for people to know. So this is our own family version of it, and it's always very popular. So that's what you see
So
in
that's
the video.
usually like a sellout for you for any time you make it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Wonderful.
Exactly.
Okay. So as we quickly round up now, for other guys out there who they're passionate about whatever it is, but they don't feel comfortable, they feel scared, they feel like I don't know what people are going to say, how my family is if my family is going to accept it. What would you like to say to such a person?
To anyone like that, I'd like to say I was that person. So then that's just the truth. Like when I came up with this idea, like I kept telling myself it's a stupid idea. Leave this idea alone. Just concentrate. You've got your career, this, that. Just leave it alone. And then something in the back of my head was just try it. And if it doesn't work, there's no shame, but at least you tried it. Like what people don't realize is that businesses start up and close every single day. Yeah. It's hard work. It's not that easy. Yes. But the ones that succeed would never have succeeded if they didn't start. So if you don't try, how are you going to know that it was a terrible idea? Yeah. The other thing, remember that just because one person likes or doesn't like it, doesn't mean someone else. Yeah. We all go to different shops. We all like different things. Some of us like one plazas and we don't like the other plazas. But the other person loves that one. It's just how it is. So I'd say don't doubt yourself. Just try it. See how it goes. As soon as you start, I think starting is the hardest step. Yeah. So once you do it and then you realize, okay, I can actually do this. Or like I went through the experience of my first event was a disaster. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. So from that moment, I could have decided, okay, you tried, stop. But instead I thought, okay, I didn't know this would happen and that will never happen again. Yeah. I didn't know this could happen and that will never. I learned so many things and I've never made those mistakes again. I've made other mistakes, but not those ones. So it's just taking that jump. Just try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. There's no shame.
There's no shame.
I think that's the biggest thing people need to get over, the shame. And then when you realize there's no shame in trying, because there are a million other people who have ideas and are scared, just like you, and won't do it, that's where you get the change of mindset.
All right. So are you open to being booked from anywhere, say Sierra Leone?
Yeah.
Are you open and,
I'd love to go and do something in Sierra Leone. This year was the first time we traveled abroad and we did a wedding in Italy. And that was the best experience I've had so far. That was amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And if you would have asked me 2 years ago, do you think that you'd be catering for a wedding in Italy? I would have laughed. Yeah. So it just shows you what, if you try something and do it, and then the feedback afterwards from the people there was amazing. I never thought that I could do something like that. So for me, seeing that, it's like the world is your oyster. Just, I want to go and do it in as many places as possible. Bring Sierra Leonean food to as many people as possible. Exactly.
We'll put all your contacts so people know how to reach you.
No problem.
But you do have events, pop-up events. When's the next one? Or how do people keep tabs so they look out for it?
Yeah. I mean, just follow us on our socials and everything is there. If we're hosting an event, it will be there. If we're catering for somebody else's event, it will be there. So just keep an eye on the social media. Our supper clubs are coming up soon. Other events are coming up soon. Everything is there. Easiest way to keep tabs on everything.
Yeah. Well, I kid you not. Just to add to that, there was an event on, Saturday over the weekend, and I did have that jollof rice, the Creole Canteen jollof rice. This is where you say it's the life. But I'm not gonna blow their horn too much. I'll just let you figure out where they are. If you're in the UK, find them,
Get in
support
touch.
them, and most importantly, it's supporting our own brother. Let's all support as much as we can Sierra Leonean businesses. That's the only way we can succeed and grow as a people, in or out of Sierra Leone. So on this note, I say thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on the spot.
Not a problem.
And much love to the Creole Canteen team. Big up to your dad who
Big
took
up,
the
Dad.
time out to teach you how to cook, and
thank
also
you,
to
Dad.
your granny who taught your dad how to cook as
the
well.
whole family, everybody.
Amazing, beautiful. Thank you so much. We wish you all the
No
best. So we'll
problem,
continue
thank
to
you.
follow the work of Creole Canteen.
Please do.
This is definitely not the last.
No,
We're
no,
going to
this
see
is
you
not-
here.
this is not the
There's
last.
the first of many more to come. So I guess this is where we take another break. I have another guest who would be joining me here, and keep it on the spot. We'll be back.
Domestic revenue mobilization is a key instrument for the government of Sierra Leone in reducing poverty, increasing financial independence, achieving middle income status, and charting the path for new directions. From supporting the free quality education, good roads, healthcare, electricity, and more.
Domestic revenue mobilization is very critical when it comes to national development.
Through the Asikoda World, we have developed beautiful management tools. We have also developed systems in which it will bring transparency and help to the importer, to the broker.
iTax is a platform for all your domestic taxes. The electronic cash register system is the game changer.
Let's support government by paying our taxes. For more information, visit the nearest NRA office or log on to our website www.nra.gov.sl.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Abu. I am calling for your rental tax payment.
Oh my goodness.
Hello? This is a call from the
Your colleague is on the other line. Can you just please hold?
You know a landlord or property agent? You don't hear about rental income tax? As property owner or agent where they collect rent, the law say you for pay tax and are you tax identification number where they call team you they use for pay am.
Yes, me fumble them. The law say without this tax identification number, you not go able to pay your tax. And if you not pay your tax, the law go bet you tranga one. Welcome, sir. Please sit.
Thank you.
We don't make them easy for you now. The law say, since you the collect rent we pass 7.2 million leons, you for come to NIA and pay your rental tax just after we you tenants don't pay you done.
So no more calls from everywhere.
You go just get one SMS or one phone call. We go remind you, sir.
Thank you very much.
For no more, go to any NIA office near you or visit www.nia.gov.sl.
Remember, paying taxes is required by law.
All right, welcome back to On the Spot with me, Stella Bangura, and it's still part of the UK series. So I have been talking to some amazing people living in the UK doing amazing stuff. And so is my next guest. Now he is an upcoming photographer and he's UK based, lives in the UK, hence UK based. And he is popularly called Mehdi. So I know his real name, but I'm going to let him do the introduction in Creole so that I will know if this guy, really understands a little bit about Creole. Mehdi, can you tell us who you are in Creole? Just a few words.
My name Mohammed Kamara. Hey, don't put me on the spot.
Exactly.
Yeah, Mohammed Kamara,
Okay.
commonly known as Mehdi.
Mehdi. Okay.
How
Well,
was that?
it was good. You did well. You did well.
Okay.
So before we jump into the your photography work, of course you live here. Were you born here? Have you lived here all your life? Do you go to Sierra Leone? Or just tell us a little bit about your childhood.
Okay.
And growing up.
So I was born here, Londoner, South London. Went back to Sierra Leone with my parents when I was about 3, and I lived there till I was about 10 years old.
Okay.
then just returned back to London. Been here for duration of my life ever since. Started going back to Sierra Leone again, I think 2000. And since then, I've been going back every 2-3 years for various reasons, family, holidays, mostly family rather than actual holidays. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you're very in tune. You're very in tune and in touch with the Sierra Leone side.
Yes, definitely. It's a conscious effort to make sure that I'm in tune with Sierra Leone and that I go regularly. Took the family over in February, and again, it was a conscious decision that you need to know where you're from.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right, so you have a hobby. There's this thing you like.
Yeah.
Photography. You like playing with the camera.
Yes.
Did you just wake up one morning and just figure out that I think I like to play with the camera, or is it something that you've known all your life?
So I like visuals. I like the aesthetics of how things look. So I've always looked at pictures of other people, other photographers, artists, and around 2013, changing jobs, thought, you know what, final paycheck, I'm gonna go full stream ahead and buy a proper digital camera, like a DSLR. I've had cameras before that, but I thought, let me just go straight into this. It was intimidating to start with because I'm self-taught, and I've always been self-taught. So I had to pause that journey for a second, sent my camera to my family member in Sierra Leone actually. But when I was getting married again in 2017, wife got me a second camera, and I thought, all right, we're gonna go on honeymoon, we're gonna go to Mauritius at the time, but I need to know how this works. So my wedding photographer just gave me like a quick crash course. And I thought, okay, I can actually do this. And since then, it's just been a process of self-learning, meeting up with other photographers, and just encouraging the passion to grow organically to the point to where I am now. Yeah.
Clearly, your wife is quite supportive of this. I mean, she got you a camera.
Yeah.
But coming from an African home, and we know how African parents can be. They want their children to, go the conventional way, be the doctor, be the lawyer. How was it for your family?
You know what? That is part of the reason why it's probably, I call it an expensive hobby, where it's more of a hobby for me, because since school days, I've always been into art. I used to draw, I used to sketch, but again, in school is conventional stuff. When I left secondary school, I did my A-levels. After that, I went to actually study law. So the idea of actually going into a creative field was not something that I ever thought of, or something that I ever took seriously at all. But I think as an adult now, my daughter's got a camera, and I give her my camera so that she's comfortable and sure she can play with it, because I think the world is a bigger place now than probably where our parents were before. There's a lot more things you can do now. Yeah.
So as a hobby, it means you've got like your normal full-time 9 to 5.
Yes.
How are you balancing both the hobby and the main work?
It's very difficult. It can be challenging and stressful at certain times. And I've even been told that I need to slow down, and I'm gonna slow down in the next few weeks or so. But it can be very, very challenging because I do my 9 to 5, and then over the last 2 years or so, I would only be able to do shoots on weekends. And with the weekends, when you do a 9 to 5, you also need to fit in family life.
Yeah.
So end up getting very little time for myself. Hence the reason of knowing that next 6 months is a slowdown process for me. Because when you're learning and you're trying to create a lane in the way that I want to do it as well, I've got to give it 110% all the time. So I never stop editing. I never stop learning how to edit in a way that will attract the type of clientele that I would like to attract. So not much sleep, and I've got a toddler as well. So yeah, it's difficult.
There's a lot on your table at the moment.
Basically,
Okay, all right. Well, he is Mehdi Mohammed Kamara, an upcoming photographer who right now, dabbling into that as a hobby, but trust me, check out his handles. He's got really nice pictures. But we'll take a break. We'll be back. This is still on the spot. Keep it. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back.
Domestic revenue mobilization is a key instrument for the government of Sierra Leone in reducing poverty, increasing financial independence, achieving middle income status, and charting the path for new directions. From supporting the free quality education, good roads, healthcare, electricity, and more.
Domestic revenue mobilization is very critical when it comes to national development.
Through the Asikoda World, we have developed beautiful management tools. We have also developed systems in which it will bring transparency and help to the importer, to the broker.
iTax is a platform for all your domestic taxes. The electronic cash register system is the game changer.
Let's support government by paying our taxes. For more information, visit the nearest NRA office or log on to our website www.nra.gov.sl.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Abu. I am calling for your rental tax payment.
Oh my goodness.
Hello? This is a call from the...
Your colleague is on the other line. Can you just please hold?
You are a landlord or property agent? You don't hear about rental income tax? As property owner or agent where they collect rent, the law say you for pay tax and are you tax identification number where they call team you they use for pay am.
Yes, me fumble them. The law say without this tax identification number, you not go able to pay your tax. And if you not pay your tax, the law go bet you tranga one. Welcome, sir. Please sit.
Thank you.
We don't make them easy for you now. The law say, since you the collect rent we pass 7.2 million leons, you for come to NIA and pay your rental tax just after we tenants don't pay you done.
So no more calls from everywhere.
You go just get one SMS or one phone call. We go remind you, sir.
Thank you very much.
For no more, go to any NIA office near you or visit www.nia.gov.sl.
Remember, paying taxes is required by law.
Welcome back. This is On the Spot, and I have with me Mohammed Kamara, who is also called Mehdi. He is an upcoming photographer, living and working in the UK. Living and working in the UK. For now,
Yeah.
because I just want to ask, do you see yourself at some point in time living and working in Sierra Leone?
I don't know about any other person. Me, it's always been the plan that I can't go holding in England. For me, it's not ideal. I like the warm weather. I like the beach. I like the sea. Okay. So yeah, the long term is definitely Sierra Leone. Once I convinced the wife that Nigeria is not as good as Sierra Leone, but definitely not here.
So she's not Sierra Leonean?
No.
She's where?
She's Nigerian.
Ah, well.
She's been to Sierra Leone more times than she's been Nigeria. So
I'm sure that's going to be an easy work then. It's going to be an easy work convincing her.
Yeah.
All right. So now, in terms of your work, what sort of photography do you think you're into? What line of photography?
I love portrait photography because there's a lot about people's story that you can tell by looking at their pictures, and I like dabbling into street photography as well. That passion got reignited for me again when I was in Sierra Leone in February, where I took a back seat and I was just in Calbata and I was just taking pictures of locals. It's interesting for me to capture the essence of what is usually going on in a scene and trying to translate that message or that imagery to someone who might be thousands and thousands of miles away and see if they can still get the same emotions evoked. So portraits and street photography is what I generally enjoy.
Okay, so when it comes to street photography, is it more about telling a story? And what story would that be?
For me, it's more about definitely telling the story, and the story doesn't have a set definition. I don't like things to be wholly defined because I think by having strong definitions on yourself, you put yourself in a box. The story that I might tell in Sierra Leone will be different to the story I tell over here. And again, if I'm going to tell a story in Sierra Leone, the story I might tell in one part of Sierra Leone will be very different to the story that I'll tell in another part of Sierra Leone. So I don't like to have those strong definitions. I just want to be able to convey what I'm seeing in a particular area. Yeah.
Now, I've interviewed a number of young Sierra Leoneans here who, and even conversed with a lot of young people who either work or they own businesses or they, like self-employed here.
Yeah.
And particularly those in the arts, like yourself.
Yes.
What I find very common is that in every given time or any opportunity they have, they want to tell the Sierra Leonean story.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the same for you?
It's definitely the case for me. Suppose that story probably was there before I even started playing in the arts more. So I've grown up in South London. I've got a variety of friends from Caribbean and other parts of Africa. So around me, my brothers it's an eclectic mix. So every time I get the opportunity when I travel to random parts of the world, I would take something Sierra Leonean with me so that people you ask the question and then it gives me an opportunity to then tell the story. For me, the story of Sierra Leone is one that is still yet to be defined and still yet to be told. So a lot of what has even inspired my photography, especially last year, was to make sure that I'm shooting people of Sierra Leonean backgrounds. And when I went to Sierra Leone, like I said, taking some street photography to kind of tell the stories of people who might not necessarily get their stories told.
Yeah. So how much of a collaboration do you, because you find a lot, especially in the art field, people who are in the arts and the music, they do a lot of collaborations. How much of that do you do, both here, which is home for you, and back home in Sierra Leone, which is the main home for you?
It's the main home. That's what actually where my heart is. I'm just here for now. So it's easier for Sierra Leone because I suppose because I've grown up here, I don't really know people in person as yet. But that's something that I'm looking to try and change in the next few months and years or so, because there are photographers whose work that I follow and I keep in touch with constantly. So when I do go back to Sierra Leone in the next few months or years or so, definitely will be looking to do some collaborative work with them. In terms of the UK, I'm constantly working with other people. It gives me an opportunity to learn, and with Sierra Leoneans within the arts field as well, it gives me an opportunity to discover new people as well, because there's so many exciting and fascinating and great Sierra Leoneans that I've met over the last 2 years or so, and that's literally come from the fact that I want to collaborate with you just to try and put something together.
Is there any particular Sierra Leonean photographer, or maybe any photographer in general, that you really love the work and that you'd say that they kind of inspire you?
Ooh, what, from Sierra Leone or from?
It could be from Sierra Leone or from anywhere, but it would be great if you can mention if there's any
Dominic is Dominic Fofana. I like his work. I like the way he tells his stories, and again, from a street photography point of view, he did a series of photography, and the coloring and the editing that he's used in his photography is very eye-catching to me. And I was looking at the images from a photographer's point of view, and I know another photographer will be able to look at this and say, okay, I'm scanning the room, I'm going to pause here for a second, get a feel of what's going on before carrying on again. So it's definitely up there in my list.
All right. We'll just take one more break, and then when we come back, you tell us 3 things that you would want to probably leave the viewers with, or maybe 3 things that have inspired you, or 3 things that have made you who you are, brought you how far you've come. So we'll take a break, and then when we'll come back, Mohammed will be leaving us with 3 things that he wants to leave us with. We'll be back.
Domestic revenue mobilization is a key instrument for the government of Sierra Leone in reducing poverty, increasing financial independence, achieving middle income status, and charting the path for new directions. From supporting the free quality education, good roads, healthcare, electricity, and more.
Domestic revenue mobilization is very critical when it comes to national development.
Through the Asikoda World, we have developed beautiful management tools. We have also developed systems in which it will bring transparency and help to the importer, to the broker.
iTax is a platform for all your domestic taxes. The electronic cash register system is the game changer.
Let's support government by paying our taxes. For more information, visit the nearest NRA office or log on to our website www.nra.gov.sl.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Abu. I am calling for your rental tax payment.
Oh my goodness.
Hello? This is a call from the
Your colleague is on the other line. Can you just please hold?
You know a landlord or property agent? You don't hear about rental income tax? As property owner or agent where they collect rent, the law say you for pay tax and you tax identification number where they call team you they use for pay am.
Yes, me fumble them. The law say without this tax identification number, you not go able to pay your tax. And if you not pay your tax, the law go bet you tranga one. Welcome, sir. Please sit.
Thank you.
We don't make them easy for you now. The law say, since you the collect rent we pass 7.2 million leons, you for come to NRA and pay your rental tax just after we tenants don't pay you done.
So no more calls from everywhere.
You go just get one SMS or one phone call. We go remind you, sir.
Thank you very much.
For no more, go to any NRA office near you or visit www.nra.gov.sl.
Remember, paying taxes is required by law.
All right, welcome back. You are just in the nick of time to hear Mohammed leave us with three profound sayings, words, phrases, whatever he wants to leave us with, that he thinks is what leaving us with. Besides, he is, if you're just joining us, he is an upcoming photographer who is, based in the UK, but hopefully we will drag him at some point in time with his family back to Freetown, Sierra Leone. All right, so over to you.
Over to me, right? Three things. Pressure. There's no particular order to this, but I'm going to start with something from a conversation that I've literally just heard, but it also resonates with a lot of how my life is. So one of them is to stay sane. In this day and age, there's a lot of talk around mental health, and mental health aside, there's a lot of stuff that we're all doing individually to try and get to where we're trying to get to. So make sure you stay sane. Make sure you enjoy the journey, I think is what I want people to take from that staying sane thing. Make sure you enjoy the journey, and at some points you're not gonna enjoy the journey because that's how life is. Just pause from it, take a step back, and then continue on with that journey again. But however long it takes you, just make sure you're staying sane and make sure you enjoy the journey as well.
Okay.
Second one for me, I suppose, is relating to Sierra Leoneans.
Okay.
Keep it within the theme. Stay patriotic to Sierra Leone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And again, this is just coming from a conversation I had earlier with Joe. I would like Sierra Leoneans to see themselves as a whole. Because over the last few days, and one of the best things I enjoyed about Slackfest was learning that we're all from somewhere else. So Sierra Leone was carved up and handed to us as a name. But before that part of Africa got carved up, we're all from random parts of the world. We all trickled down from different empires over time. So now that we have this name, instead of trying to break it down unnecessarily, think of Sierra Leone as one. So no matter where you're from, no matter what your differences are, embrace each other. And finally, suppose embrace your passions, whatever that might be. It might be something creative. It might be something non-creative, whatever it might be. But embrace your passion. I think enough people don't do that in this day and age. We chase the professional dream so much that we also forget to nurture our passions. Just something within your soul that's going to keep you burning. So figure out what your passion is. It doesn't need to be the same as someone else's. It doesn't need to be as big as theirs. But if it makes you feel alive, then keep it burning. If you can get paid from it, get paid from it. And make sure you do it in a way where the whole world can see what you're trying to do and not just a few people around you. Yeah, that's it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We're going to drop your social media handles and, all your contacts.
Yes.
So that people who would like to have you, take your photograph of whatever it is.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Cover their weddings or whatnot. They know where or how to reach you. So we'll be sharing that on the show so that people hopefully can reach you in and out of Sierra Leone, even right here in the UK. But we say thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, Mehdi. We wish you all the best. We'll be following your work. We can't wait to, you become one of the next big thing in photography, you understand? So it's all about making Sierra Leone proud, and we really do wish you the very best.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, he enjoyed the conversation, and I hope you did as well. Coming up next now is my final word. Well, in my final words, I guess I'll just reiterate the words of my guest. Whatever you're passionate about, go for it. Life is too short. You never know. It just may be what you would actually find success in. There is no conventional work for a man or conventional work for a woman. Any man and any woman can do whatever they set their heart to. Do not feel pressured by society. Do not take into consideration what people would say or feel. Just do what you feel is best for you. Do what you're happy about. And above all, just make sure you live life. That's really what it's all about. Living life, being happy, loving yourself, and loving people around you. So I'd like to say thank you so much for joining me again on another episode here on The Spot. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your opinions. Share them. Head on to our Facebook, Instagram page. Head on to YouTube. Drop your comments. Let us know what you feel and how you feel. But from myself and the team, we'll say have a very beautiful one. Take care.